Welcome to Season 2 of Truth Be Told Conversations. In this season, we're going deeper. Everybody want to be rich. Everybody wants to live these big dreams. It becomes challenging when you aspire to do it, but then you don't manifest in the magnitude that you wish you could. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to manifest effortlessly, while others feel like they're pushing, forcing, and still getting nowhere, well, this episode is for you.
I didn't understand what manifestation meant. When I heard about manifestation, I was heavy into church. I used to go to church every Sunday, and I felt like, how are you trying to manifest when God is the all be all? We were taught in church that your life was already preordained.
Today, we're talking about energy, because at the core of everything that we do, we are energy. Every thought, every emotion, and every belief carries a frequency. That was really truly the seed of how we start wanting to move forward with that manifestation process.
Yes.
Having big imaginations. According to psychiatrist David Hawkins, in his book, Maps of Consciousness, there is a massive difference between operating from force versus operating from power. Force comes from fear, control, pride, anger, and even shame. But on the other side, we discuss power, in which power comes from love, willingness, courage, neutrality, and even joy. That's what we're going to talk about today, because how do people understand or overcome some of these things that are hindering them from manifesting appropriately? And here's the key. You don't manifest from what you say you want. You manifest from the level of consciousness you're living in every single day. So what does that look like?
We all vibrate. We all are energy. We say good vibes. And when we talk about vibration, a lot of times people don't even understand the magnitude of what they're saying.
So if your emotions are low frequency, your results will reflect that.
Is that regardless of where you are on the vibrational scale, you manifest. Once you get to a higher level of the vibrational scale, that's when you start manifesting on a higher level.
In this episode, Twin Flames Kisha and Janine are breaking down the 5 key elements of manifestation. The audience is asking, well, what does that mean, Janine? What is your power? What is your force? So this is what David Hawkins says. What does it really take to co-create with the universe? How do you identify energetic blockages, and how to break through the patterns that are silently stopping you from the happiness that you say you desire? Because manifestation isn't magic. It's alignment. It's awareness. It's responsibility. Once you understand how energy works, you stop forcing life and you start flowing with power. Let's get into it. Favorite twin flames are back with Truth Be Told Conversations. And on this show, we don't just talk about spirituality, we get in depth and we expose the truth about who you are and how you can elevate to the next level, y'all. So I'm Janine. I am your co-host, along with my lovely co-host, Kisha B.
Hey, y'all.
It's been a minute. Miss KB, what's up?
Nothing, boo. How you been? How you been?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I miss the Wednesday.
Shout out to Wendy Williams.
For sure, yo. But we had a big year. I know we haven't dropped the episode in a minute, but we had a big year 2025. And
Yes,
we were out, we were busy, we're really growing our business and really into this podcasting and getting this information out about spirituality. And in the process of that, we were learning so much about ourselves and manifestation. We couldn't do it without that process of manifestation. And I know that's something I don't think we got into depth with on our show. So what a great way to introduce our new season by talking about the elements and the process of manifestation. So I know that, like, when it comes to manifestation, people see it all over social media. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be rich.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be healed.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody wants to live these big dreams in their life, and you see all
Mm-hmm.
this fantastical stuff, but it becomes challenging when you see other people doing it and you aspire to do it, but then you don't manifest in in the magnitude that you wish you could. So we want to break down today how we get into how these blockages happen, why people don't manifest, and how you can kind of fix it. So we're going to go over a couple of rules, about five tips on how we can manifest better, and understanding the elements of manifestation.
Definitely. Definitely.
You know, in your opinion, Keish, like at what point did you start really manifesting, or what led you, better yet, what led you to understanding what manifestation is all about?
So I'm going to take it back to when I was heavy into church. I used to go to church every Sunday, and you guys have heard that in previous episodes. And back then, I didn't understand what manifestation meant. And when I discovered manifestation, I actually cringed when I heard the definition. And I felt like, how are you trying to manifest when God is the all be all? We were taught in church that your life was already preordained before you came to this planet. So I couldn't understand the concept of manifesting if God already had his hand in your life. So moving forward, when I became a spiritualist, I still am Christian, but when I became a spiritualist and I actually started understanding manifestation, uh, it was a growth process for me because I was one of those people, even with my spiritual journey in the beginning, I would do the affirmations, I would do little things, the vision board and all that kind of stuff. And all that
Yeah,
stuff is good.
yeah.
All that stuff is good, but I understood that it was deeper than just a vision board and saying the same affirmations every day. And so at this point in my journey, I'm understanding, and you and I discovered we actually manifest every day. But the reason why we're having this show is because people are trying to learn how to manifest on higher levels. And, I always give the joke, there's people at my job that manifest a bad day every day they come to work
Yeah.
because the universe has to match your vibration and
It's
your
so
energy.
it's cute though that you bring up, the whole vision board thing. I remember like when I was a kid, me and my sister, we used to create vision boards, and we used to cut out things from the magazines, and it used to always be this magnificent house, and we were going to make 10 millions of dollars, and then
Yes.
we would design our kitchen. It became almost like building a dollhouse, right?
Exactly.
That was our fantasy, that we could have these hopes and dreams. And I think that's where the idea of Pinterest probably came from, with creating
Yes.
vision boards, and you have these magnificent dreams one day that you can achieve. So I think it's like really cute that you brought that up, because it really, that took me back. And I don't think a lot of people think about that that was really truly the seed of how we start wanting to move forward with that manifestation process,
Yes.
having big imaginations.
Yes. Yes.
Your imagination is critical when it comes to you wanting to manifest your
And
dream.
and and no knock to the vision boards because many people they had the opportunity to see that their visions did come true.
Hmm.
Vision boards are not as popular as they used to be, but people are still doing it to this day. But I just want to emphasize that people did, like, for example, really quick, my daughter, she has a buggy, a Volkswagen buggy, and I might be saying it wrong, but anywho, she she revealed to us when she got her car, she said that on her vision board it was the same exact car and the same color, the same look and everything.
Look at
And she
that.
did this vision board like 5 years prior to that.
Look at that.
Yeah, so she was a child. At this point, she got her car at 17, 18, and she had put it on her vision board 5 years before that, and it came true.
See what I'm saying? That's really, really dope. So
Now, let me ask you,
yeah,
did this vision board that you had,
yeah.
did any of that stuff come true?
I'm still working on some things.
Okay.
But what I will say is this. Matter of fact, I used to be, so I'm a shopaholic. Like I love places like Home Goods.
Yes.
It all started with me having vision boards, because
Okay.
think that's why a lot of women are probably addicted to places like Home Goods, because not only do you see it on like HGTV, but we used to be in like home. What was the name of that magazine? Home and Good
Oh, Home and Gardens or something like
Home and
that.
Gardens.
Yes.
The Home and Gardens magazine. And I used to be in magazines like that all the time, like, ooh, I want that. Ooh, I want
Yeah.
that. And I used to cut and paste what my ideal house would look like, the inside, the elements of my house. And I just
Yes.
became so obsessed with details of the home, because my mom was like the Black Martha Stewart. Like she used to love,
Okay.
yeah, making the house tidy and
Mm-hmm.
doing meticulous little things around the house. So it was something that was kind of embedded in me.
Okay.
So having a vision board and was just real, like honestly, having a vision board really truly was me. That obviously, like I said before, that beginning stage of me manifesting, because once fucking Home Goods came around, it was a wrap.
Yeah.
It was a wrap for me. I lived in
Yes.
Home Goods, and you see, I used to stay with like little things. I have so much stuff from Home Goods that I don't even have a place to put it anymore in my house.
See?
And I think a lot of it, like I said, it was from me cutting and pasting shit and making vision boards. I became obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm glad you went to details about that because one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about this topic, people are that was like a phase and it was a fad with the vision boards. And then it went into I won't say we went into other realms, but we're not really doing the vision board thing anymore. We're now doing the affirmations. We're doing, like people. I remember one time I was doing it. My coworker had me saying some affirmation. I love money. Money loves me. Money always finds me. And it was like a four-liner because she
Yeah.
was always getting some money. So I'm like, wait, let me start doing this with you. But I'm one of those people. After 2 days, I was like, I can't keep up with that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, damn it.
That's some funny shit.
Yeah, I was money loves me, money finds me.
But like, so do you think in your opinion, do you think having or saying affirmations, do you think that works?
It works if your mind. See, you have there's so many layers to manifestation, but your mind has to be at a certain level by the time you start saying affirmations. You have to believe in yourself. Your mind has to be clear. On our other shows we talk about cleaning the garden out and doing your shadow work. Like you have to do a whole bunch of stuff before you start saying these affirmations because the affirmations are just going to go right into thin air and land somewhere, but not back in your pocket.
Yeah.
So the
Well, the
mind,
definite, but the manifestations that you want, because
yes.
remember, there's different levels to
Oh
manifestation.
yes. Oh yes.
Because you could
Yes.
you could manifest at every level. We say that all the time. You can manifest at
Mm-hmm.
every level, but the things that you want on your vision board won't
Yes.
won't come to pass if you are not
Mm-hmm.
at a certain level mentally and spiritually. So that's what we're
Yeah.
going to talk about today. Because how do people understand or overcome some of these things that are hindering them from manifesting appropriately? So let's talk.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. Like in your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
I know. So when you start to really understand the nature of manifestation, just like I said, that you can vibrate on lower levels. So what does that look like? Let's paint this picture for our audience. What does it mean when you actually vibrate on a lower level?
Well, listen, we all vibrate. We all are energy. And what vibration all so we say good vibes. And when we talk about vibration, a lot of times people don't even understand the magnitude of what they're saying.
Yeah.
I always give that example of someone walking in a room and you feeling their energy. You're feeling their vibration. And what happens is that all of us vibrate 24/7, and you have to do a vibrational check on yourself. Like, am I vibrating low or am I vibrating high? And we've discussed David Hawkins' vibrational scale, where it starts from the bottom of anger and shame, and it goes all the way up to peace and joy. And right up at the top with peace and joy, a couple levels underneath is love.
Yep.
So once you get to a higher level of the vibrational scale, that's when you start manifesting on a higher level. And what we teach all of our clients is that regardless of where you are on the vibrational scale, you manifest.
Yeah.
So I give the example really quick how like one of my coworkers one day I was on the elevator with her. We start work at 7 a.m. and at 6:50 a.m. she was on the elevator like this with her head on the wall. Oh my God, like that. And I'm like, mind you, I'm having my cup of coffee in my hand. I'm trying to vibrate high
She don't
because
know.
I don't want to be in the building right now. And she's back
Yeah.
there with her head on the wall. Oh my God.
She done changed the whole energy in the damn. She ain't even stepping the job yet.
And guess what? She
Mm-hmm.
had a terrible day.
See?
So she accomplished what she didn't set out to do, but her vibrations manifested the day she
They
had.
were trash. So let's talk
Yes.
about how that let's talk about that. Let's talk about how that happened. So you brought up David Hawkins. I know we had mentioned that last season in one of our episodes, and he explains in his book Power versus Force what is a vibration. And you said like if you ask people in general what is a vibe, and most people can't really give you a
Yeah.
true answer on what a vibration is. And there's different ways to explain it. Some people may explain it scientifically, mathematically, philosophically. And I'm going to explain it more on a philosophical level. So, from what David Hawkins explains, he says that a vibration is a makeup of an energetic power versus an energetic force. And what does that mean? So if you look at the vibrational scale that, we flash around all the time, this maps of consciousness that David Hawkins kind of created. What he says is that your emotions resonate a different megahertz. It resonates a different megahertz. So your emotions carry this vibratory energy.
Yes.
And that energy is what really truly guides your life, guides your decisions, guides your thoughts. And he explains, as I said, that makeup of your power versus your force is what gives off the actual vibrational movement that surrounds our bodies that people don't see, right? So it's like if you have somebody that walks in a room and vibrates, so vibrantly, so
Yes.
energetically, and you're just like, what is it that that person has that I don't have?
Yes.
And you can't fathom or come up with the words to describe what it is, but this is what it is that makeup of your power versus your force. So the audience is asking, well, what does that mean, Janine? What is your power? What is your force? So this is what David Hawkins says. He says that your energetic force is the makeup of negative emotions, these things that will weigh your spirit down, weigh your consciousness down, that will have these undertones of negativity that seems to come out when you have conversations with people, when you have relationships, when you interact with your coworkers. It's that negativity that always seems to slip out in your words and your conversation. And they are they come out, and he maps it through your emotions. So like you had just mentioned, if you have underlying tones of shame, underlying tones of apathy, underlying tones of guilt, underlying tones of fear that comes out in how you speak to people and how you think and move, then that's where your vibrational force lies. And a majority of us, 99.9% of us, carry some level of force. And
Yes.
it comes out. Most people don't walk around high vibrational in this power all the time unless you really truly are enlightened, right? And I'll explain that a little bit more. So if you have so the latter part of that is your energetic power. And your energetic power is high vibrational thoughts. So that could be neutrality, that could be peace, that could be love, that could be balance or willingness. I'm sorry, willingness. So there's different levels that are more vibratory in our thoughts and our emotions, and based off of how your consciousness is. And I'll be honest with you, it really truly is based off of your enlightenment status. It really matters how enlightened you are, because the less
Yes.
enlightened you are, the more than likely you're probably going to carry a lot of force energy.
Mm-hmm.
And this force and this power energy, it just fights each other,
Yeah.
and that's your makeup. That's your vibration. That's your vibration right there. So that's where. So this is the thing. Like, I know we talk about this often, Keish. It's like we need people to understand that their shadow work,
Mm-hmm.
who they were, or who the things that they have encountered as children, or the things that they're holding on to based off of trauma,
Yes.
is what will actually trigger you into responding emotionally, that is based off of this energetic power versus your force.
Yes, definitely.
And I hope I didn't lose anybody with that, but that really truly is what your makeup of your vibration is that back and forth energy between your thought processes. Are you thinking more negative versus thinking more positive?
And I'm glad you said thinking, because that's the major thing, that is the foundation of manifestation, is your mind. So your ego and your mind are like a union, that if you can get someone to remove the ego and start thinking clearer, and
Mm-hmm.
start with an enlightened mind, and it's very, what's the word I'm looking for, when it comes down to manifestation in your mind, it's a big ordeal, and I feel bad for a lot of people. I work on a psych ward, and I really analyze the situation with people's mental health. And so if you don't believe that you deserve to do better in life, you deserve to have the big things, you deserve to have the home and goods, home and gardens kitchen, you deserve to have a better career. If you have fear and anxiety that gets in the way, so a lot of us try to fake it till we make it. And there is temporary manifestation. But if you want that manifestation where it gets you to a higher level in your life, and you get to, we talk about the to-do list, check off the to-do list, and accomplish your life missions, and just even accomplishing your personal goals. Like someone might say, I want to go to Thailand in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people who have wishful thinking. But if they don't believe that they can achieve these goals, it just won't happen. And then 5 years from now, when they're looking at their vision board, none of the stuff on their vision board would have been accomplished, because their mind did not allow them to believe that they deserve these accomplishments.
Yeah.
And it's hard, and that's one of the things that Janine and I, as clinicians, we have a hard time. Not a hard time, no, I'm not going to say that, because we don't have a hard time. What we do is we help our clients who've had a hard time with their mindset. We help them go to the core of why they are not believing in themselves, and why they have fear and anxiety.
Yeah,
And going
definitely.
back and piggybacking on what you said, it's the shadow work to figure out, where did this all begin.
Yep.
And we find out most of the time it's from when the time you was in the playground with your friends, and they were making fun of you. They might have been made, like my last name. I'm not going to say the last name, but people used to make fun of my last name growing up. And I wanted my last name to be changed. I even went to my mom, can we change my last name? Be- because that was traumatic as a kid. And so then a lot of us don't realize that as we get older as adults, we start fearing or worrying about what other people think about us. And then we say to ourselves, I can't see myself having my own podcast, or I can't see myself joining or starting a dance school. It could
Yeah.
be a plethora of things that people want to do, but they're so afraid of what would my family think, or So that's where we step in, and we help people do the shadow work, and we talk about cleaning out the garden and replanting your seeds. So I'm so glad we're doing this show, because Yes, you could do your affirmations. Yes, you could do your vision board, but you have to you have to fix your mindset and your mindfulness.
Yeah.
And if you and I, we tell everyone, I don't care if you come to us, if you go to psychiatrists, go to someone if you can't do it on your own, because it's hard.
It is hard. And it's crazy. You literally just said something that I remember Dick Gregory saying, where he was talking about you have so many million cells in your body. And you can imagine one day, you say one day I want to go to France, but you know what? I can't afford to go to France.
So you
You just
just so
told all those millions of cells that you
yes,
cannot go to France. That's what he said.
yes, yes,
Which is
yes,
the dopest shit because it's so
yeah.
true. You and if you think about it too, like we're all in, like our cells is all a network. So, you know, you talk about, and us being nurses, we break it down on
Yes.
a scientific, on a clinical level. Your psyche, obviously your neurons communicates to your neurons. So if
Mm-hmm.
your subconscious is at a certain level and you're telling yourself you can't, I know I'm not going to be able to, I'm not, or
Yes.
it's an impossibility, you've just communicated neurologically to not only your mind but your
Yes.
body too.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I see a lot of people on social media talking about neuroplasticity and this idea of neuroplasticity. So it's funny how neuroplasticity really truly is related to our ability to think big and imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more we can think big and imagine, this neuroplasticity expands. It becomes much more malleable. That's why it's like
Mm-hmm.
plasticity means like flexibility versus stiffness, right? So
Yes.
if you can't move your mind to think bigger, then your body and your subconscious will really truly believe that you can achieve.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
but if you think the opposite, if you know that you can do something or you talk to yourself all the time, which is
Yeah.
why, if honestly we talked about affirmations, a minute ago. So you can affirm, you can say things to kind of convince yourself. But the flip side is, like you said, if you can convince yourself all you want to, but if you really truly
Mm-hmm.
don't believe it,
Yes. Yes.
that's where it just becomes a hindrance, and
Yes.
it cannot happen.
Yep. It's funny. I was telling someone this concept the other day. It also, too, along with our subconscious, the universe also plays a part in our manifestation because the universe has to move mountains sometimes for us to make these things happen. Like someone who wants to manifest another job, they may need to have someone in the right position at the right time for you to get that job. But if the universe sees that you have doubt, then the universe is not going to give you. They're not going to move the mountains because you're not ready. And I told someone this the other day. So I said, what if 90% of you is ready for whatever this change is and this
Yeah.
manifestation, but 10% of you is doubting it? The universe, unfortunately, in most situations, allows the 10% to trump the 90%. So I was telling someone this on the phone the other day. And I said, okay, imagine you're on a plane and you find out that your pilot is only 90% ready to fly that plane. And 10% of him has fear and anxiety of flying the plane. Now, 90%, and 90% is a good number. Why the person on the phone was like, I don't want him flying that plane if he's only 90% ready.
Okay.
So people have to understand is that when you're dealing with manifestation, especially when it comes from the angle of the universe has to know that you are 100% ready
Yeah.
to accomplish that goal because they are not allowed to give you what you want if you have some doubt in your heart. And
Yeah.
that's a universal law.
It is because that's you talking to the quantum field. That's you talking to the quantum field. So
Yeah.
you start giving off this energy telling, and that energy is communicating directly with the spirit realm.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's where our psychic abilities kind of fall into, because our spirit exists outside of our body.
Yeah.
Our spirit is not inside of us here. It really truly is outside of us.
Mm-hmm.
And that outside part, that field, that energy field, that aura, it communicates directly with spirit. The spirit listens. Your ancestors listen.
Yeah.
Your angels listen. Your light beings listen. Whoever you call in, they're gonna listen and they're gonna help and pave the way for you.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up because this is a little tidbit, or guess you could say tip. And this is part of manifestation. Going back to the vibrational scale, the higher you are on the vibrational scale chronically, not acutely, but chronically, meaning consistently, the clearer the messages are from the universe. So when you're vibrating low on the scale, the information that the universe sends you is fragmented. So if you need help with getting messages from the other side may say, okay, look up this website to get something. Just using that example. But
Mhm.
if they can't give you the message clearly, then it's holding back the process of you manifesting. So you chronically vibrating high and getting, and it's like the cheat sheet. Once they are able to give you the messages are flowing from the other side, you're getting all these cheat sheets on your journey of manifesting. So it's really important that you look into vibrating higher. And we've talked about this several times in other shows. One of the great ways of manifesting on a higher level is through gratitude and appreciation.
Yeah,
So,
that's funny because I was getting ready to ask you, like, how do you remove some of these blockages? How do you remove the blockages when you're trying to manifest? And we could tell people all day, oh, just think positively, but there are just some people that know that there's something there that keeps blocking them. Oh,
yes.
Janine, I try every day. I walk around, I'm happy, and I'm grateful. I tell God I'm so thankful, but for whatever reason, I just can't manifest this one thing. I can't get this job. And I can't leave the job because I need the money, but I want to move on to something else, and God won't send me this job. What do you tell people, Keish? What do you tell them?
Come to the Twin Flames.
I mean, this is very true.
Because we have these gifts that we can help you open those doors.
A hundred
But
percent.
but it's funny as you say that because through research they say that a lot of people on the surface that are verbalizing to you, I'm doing everything I can, blah 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 blah. The question is, what do they do behind closed doors when no one's looking at them?
Yeah.
Because a lot of us are our biggest downers, our biggest enemies. You know how, like, you say, oh, I'm your biggest cheerleader. But most of us, we down ourselves and we will scrutinize ourselves. We'll look at ourselves in the mirror. Oh, my stomach is too big. Um, you know, I'm too short. It sounds like I'm describing myself.
Hold up. Wait a minute now. Don't lower those vibrations.
No, no, no. I love every inch of me.
All right. Well, all
But
right.
I'm just saying, so a lot of times people have to understand it's really deep. Like the question is, who are you 24/7? Because there's a lot of people you see who are, they look like they have it all together. You know what amazes me when that person who has it all together and then you find out they've committed suicide.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, not so and so.
Yeah.
So I had to bring that up. I didn't mean to down the energy in the room, but I put that out there to let everyone know a lot of you are faking it and you are claiming that you are this great I am and you are doing what you need to do, but it's a little deeper than just what you're saying. Who are you really? Are you really your biggest cheerleader or are you that person that downs yourself?
Yeah.
So,
Very, very interesting. Very
yeah,
interesting
yeah,
that you say that, definitely, because a lot of people, are just living in survival mode or
yep,
having issues with trauma identity or won't even admit that they have some fear-based um ideals based off of religion, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
And like we mentioned before, people are just unhealed. They carry these unhealed inner narratives, and they don't know how to move past it, or they don't realize that that's there and that's driving their inability to be able to manifest.
Yes.
So like
Yep.
so like for me, I had issues with my self-esteem, and my self-esteem was, honestly, if you break it down, it was the universe trying to teach me about self-love.
Yes.
And I had to understand how to, I if I until I understood how to love myself, then there was no way that I could possibly be able to put myself out there, whether it be in a relationship or go for the job that I really really wanted, or think that I could achieve this degree, because I would always revert back to little Janine that would say, "Oh, you're not good enough." you
Mm-hmm.
know so
Yeah.
you got to understand and build on your self-worth. And when you don't even realize this stuff starts to weigh on your nervous system.
It does. It does.
Mm-hmm. Truly, it truly
Yeah.
does. So
So can I ask you a question?
yeah.
How did you overcome the issues you were having with your self-esteem? Like, what did you have to do?
So this is going to be a whole nother episode, and we're going to talk about it one day. But my spirituality is what led me to me, and I should say my enlightenment helped me
Mhm.
through me understanding my own self-worth.
Yeah.
But it also boiled down to me having to fix my life lessons, my to-do list, my life lessons.
Hmm.
And until I understood the nature and the complexities of that, I really had a truly hard time. But I've come a long way when it came
You
to my
sure have.
self-esteem. Yep.
Child, you sure have, boo.
You ain't got to say it like that. Oh
No,
my.
but that's in a good way
Yeah,
because a lot of people must understand you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to love you.
you do.
You have to choose you. You have to be selfish with yourself
You do.
because you got to protect yourself.
100%. But I didn't realize that. And in talking about life lessons, I didn't realize the trauma
Mm-hmm.
that I was carrying from my childhood, because I tell people, like, I grew up the middle child. I
Yeah.
grew up the middle child, so I was always like, well, what about me?
Yeah.
What about me? What about me? What about me?
Mm-hmm.
And me all constantly always questioning what about me, I didn't realize was really truly this underlying message of me thinking that I wasn't good enough to be chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And until I had to learn that I had to choose myself.
Exactly.
And when I finally understood the lesson, that's when things just became so much more clear. And then
Yeah.
you vibrate on this higher vibration,
Mm-hmm.
because you understand, and you understand self-love and have this acceptance of self that nobody can break.
Definitely.
Yeah. So when you
So,
ask
yeah.
people, and then I'll let you get to your question. So when you ask people, oh, what is it that person has that I don't have?
Yeah.
That's really truly it. That person loves themselves so wholeheartedly that they
Mm-hmm.
don't give a F.
Exactly.
They don't give a F
Exactly.
what you think.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, I just want to just review some of the stuff that we talked about because it was a mouthful. So, the main idea, like, say we ended the show right now, the main idea when it comes down to manifestation, it really starts with your mind and you loving yourself and you releasing the fear and anxiety, but is not that simple. You know, it's easy for someone to say to you, Janine, love yourself. It's easy for someone to say to me, Keisha, raise your vibration. There's steps to that, and that's a whole nother show. We gave you some great tools on how to do those two things when it comes down to fear and anxiety and vibration. But people must really understand like your mental health is so important when it comes down to manifesting because, you know, it's funny as you were talking and you saying pick me. God was giving me a vision of like, remember when you were a kid and I used to hate this with a passion.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when you were a kid when you were in gym and they they had two leaders, two kids that were picked as the leaders because we had two teams, like say you're playing volleyball. And
Mm-hmm.
so you had these two people and they had to pick who they wanted their team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was always one of the last people. I
Now that's
cringed.
traumatizing.
Yes. And so God said to me, if you wouldn't even pick yourself, how the hell do you expect to manifest?
Okay.
Okay. Like if you wouldn't even pick yourself to accomplish certain things or to, like how you said about saying that you want to go to France and then you telling yourself I can't do it, then
Yes.
that's you not picking yourself. That's you saying you can't do it. So we have a
Exactly.
tendency to always do that to ourselves and subliminally you don't even know it.
Absolutely.
You
So
know, and then
number
you'll
one, you got to shift your identity.
shift your identity.
Not just your thoughts. You got to change your identity.
And your
Believe
identity.
that you are something of something
Exactly.
bigger and better.
Yes, yes. And if it means that you have to change and you feel uncomfortable, that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay. That's another thing with people in manifestation. There's people who don't feel comfortable with the change, so they'll rather go back to who they were. And they'll sit on that couch and say, I'm going to go to Thailand in 2 years. Then 2 years later, I'm going to Thailand in two
Got it.
years. It's like a Groundhog's Day.
Exactly. You have to learn how to co-create with the universe, baby.
Yeah, you have to change.
You
You
do.
have to change. You have to change that way of thinking. You then when it comes down to affirmations, like people who do affirmations every day, you may need to change your patterns.
Yeah.
Got to change your patterns of what you do on a daily basis for
Yep.
that goal.
Because what that does is it will allow you to unconsciously recreate your reality.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that's when the universe say, "Oh, okay, Tim, I see you, Tim. You getting up every morning and going to the
I
gym.
see you.
I see you. Okay." And you know what's funny?
Yeah.
This is real talk. I've seen people. So I need for people to understand, and this is a little like enlightenment. One of the things, yeah, if anyone heard the story of Noah's Ark, there was one part, and don't nobody rip my head off because I'm not good at quoting
Uh-oh.
scriptures in the Bible, but I could have sworn, and if y'all want to comment and correct me lovingly, I don't mind. But wasn't there a part with Noah's Ark when he fell asleep? He started the process and then he fell asleep, and when he woke up, God finished the job.
Yeah. Yes.
So you remember that part,
I
right?
do. I remember that.
So going back to like you working at it, you doing things on a daily basis, that's when the universe steps in and say, okay, we see what you're doing. We're gonna help you. And the job gets easier because now you got this spiritual team around you that knows that it's not 90%, it's 100%. And now they said, okay, we trust you to
Yeah.
fly this plane. So we're
Exactly.
gonna help you.
There you go.
Yep.
Co-create.
Yep.
So another thing that I know we brought up earlier, we'll just say number two, is about regulating your nervous system. So
Yes.
you remember, there's a science to it. There's a lot of people that walk around with anxiety, and the
Mm-hmm.
anxiety is that you stay like you're constantly in fight or flight because you
Yes.
don't know what's coming next. You're thinking too far ahead. And that's all
Mm-hmm.
anxiety really is. You're always thinking too far ahead instead of just being in the moment.
Yes.
And that in itself is really truly is living and walking in fear.
Mm-hmm.
So if you cannot control that and stay in the moment,
Yep.
then you're wreaking havoc on your on your
Oh
nervous
yeah.
system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So to have
Definitely.
higher level manifestation, you have to feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling safe,
Definitely.
feeling safe, being seen, feeling safe and is succeeding. So
Yeah.
you have to make sure that you are doing things that you can kind of relieve yourself of this anxiety. Like like what's one thing that you would tell everybody? What's number one? to relieve anxiety?
Have a glass of wine.
Lord, bitch, that wasn't on the list. Other
Uh,
than having a glass of wine, I would say
well, I would pray.
meditation.
I pray and meditate.
Yeah, meditation,
Yeah,
man.
I remember when I was in the beginning of my spiritual journey, and I still wasn't understanding the whole magnitude of how tapping into your team is so awesome. But I
Hmm.
remember one day I was driving and something happened, and my anxiety went from 0 to 100 to the point where like I was almost in tears. And I said to my angels, I knew enough to say to God and my angels, can y'all take this away from me right now? And when I tell you they took it away
Yep.
immediately within 3 minutes, it was gone. And I was like looking around like, oh shit, this shit is really gone.
See what they done did? Ask and ye
Yeah,
shall receive.
exactly. And Dolores Cannon's book, Life After Death,
Yeah.
there's a chapter on about anxiety and fear. And one of the things that the other side, and when I say the other side, God,
Mm-hmm.
he hates fear. He hates when we have fear and
Mm-hmm.
anxiety because he says, you're fearing something that never happened.
Exactly.
It never existed.
Yep.
So now you have not allowed yourself to move forward because of something that never existed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's weird. That's so and when you really look at it like that, it's like, damn, he's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Exactly.
And
So
so,
I will say number three when it comes to the power of manifestation, you have to stop spiritual bypassing. And all that means is
mhm.
that, so we talked about affirmations, but remember your affirmations, they don't override your unhealed trauma. So
Yes.
you can say all the affirmations that you want. I'm abundant, I'm chosen, I'm loved. But if
Mm-hmm.
you haven't processed things like rejection, your shame, you know, all of these negative thoughts that you have of yourself, you will
Yeah.
never be able to overcome your wounds and or live in power, live in
Yes.
this place where you know that you truly are something better and greater.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to stop spiritual bypassing people.
Yep. Yep.
So number four, I'm going to say is detaching from the outcome. So a lot of times you have out of desperation, you just block your flow. So
Mm-hmm.
when you constantly check, is it here yet? Why hasn't it happened to me? Did I do it
Yeah.
wrong? You reinforce that sense of lack.
Yeah.
So detachment doesn't mean not caring. It just means trusting the universe and the things that God has in alignment for you.
And that's the hard part.
Absolutely, it is.
Because Janine and I go through that every day.
Yep. Yep. So nobody's exempt. We all go through it. Even us, highly enlightened ones. We go through it from time to
Yes.
time.
And religious Christians, not even religious Christians, Christians know this line.
Uh-huh.
Water walking faith.
Faith. Yep.
And so, and I've had some deep talks with God. I said, listen, God, a lot of times I feel like I'm on the top of a cliff and there's this black water and you want me to jump into this black water off this cliff. And the cliff and the black water is fear. And you're telling me trust and have patience and understand that when you jump in that black water, there's going to be a bunch of beautiful colors waiting for you.
Yeah, that's some serious faith, boy,
So, yeah.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing before we wrap it up when it comes to manifestation number five, I'm going to say is taking aligned action. And that is just the process of co-creating with the universe.
Yes. Yes.
Prayer
That,
without movement is waiting. Vision without
mhm.
execution is fantasy, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like, like I said earlier, somebody laying on the couch and waiting for this thing to knock on the door.
Exactly.
So, and there's so many different examples of that.
Yeah.
Like somebody wanting a new job and never filling out the application.
Yeah.
Or like a female who wants to find a good man, and you got to go out and date. So it's just,
Exactly.
you got to, once the universe understands that you're ready, then they'll start putting the pieces together for you.
They'll
And
align it.
I think one of your great stories is when you had to you was going through a situation, and you talked about on another show, and you had to move.
Mm-hmm.
And once you were officially ready to move, and the universe knew that, the way you met the person that you got your place from was so awesome, with a cicada jumped out.
It wasn't a cicada. It was one of those Japanese lantern flies.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Not to get all detailed about it.
Yeah, but the fact that the universe did that, that's prime example. Like, once you put things into action, then the universe will say, okay, we're going to
Doors
step in.
fly open.
Doors fly
You
open.
always use the
Yes.
analogy of having green lights when you're on a
Yes.
major road, and all you have nothing but green
Green
lights.
lights. Yep. Yep.
They walk you right on through, and that's when you
Mm-hmm.
know that you're in alignment and you're on the right path.
Yes. I wanted to say a disclaimer. There are people who we see, and we witness this. They are on the lower scale of the vibrational scale. Like, they're vibrating low. They are laying on the couch and doing nothing, and they are manifesting like
Like
crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
They are an exception. They're an exception. So I don't want you guys to look at them and say, I don't see them doing none of the things that y'all have on y'all list. But there are some people who were sent here where, regardless of what they choose to do, they have some big things to accomplish, and they're part of a greater scheme. They get part of a greater plan.
Yeah.
And so they have to get, like when I used to go to the nightclub and we had to wait to get in the doors, but there was somebody that would come out the cab and just walk straight in, and I'm standing here in the rain. Like, how this person walk straight in?
Exactly.
So there are people out there that are manifesting like that, but trust and believe there's a specific reason why this is happening.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have
Yeah.
another show about that because a lot of that
Mm-hmm.
has a lot to do with how we wrote our story,
Yes.
why we came here. Because some people just came here to have fun. Some people just came here to win the lottery.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Right. That's a totally different subject, y'all. So we're gonna
Yeah.
save it
So that's a
for
different type of
a
manifestation.
different type of manifestation. Just remember though, manifestation is not about tricks, it's about transformation.
Yes.
And you don't
Yes.
manifest what you want, you manifest what you consistently embody.
I
Remember,
love that.
manifestation is you.
That's like
So
the lady on the elevator with her head on the wall. She
there you
manifested
go.
a terrible day.
A terrible day. We don't want any more terrible days.
Nope,
We
nope,
have to
nope.
think and believe that we're going to have a great day every day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
it feels so good to be back.
Yes, 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 yes.
Feels so good to be
And
back.
if you have, to our audience, if you have any tips, please, we're a community. So, like, listen, one thing
Drop
would,
it drop it in the
yeah,
comment section below. Let us know. What did
please.
we
And while
miss
you
out
at it,
on?
subscribe,
Hit that
like,
subscribe button, baby. Like.
and share.
As our audience grows. And for those that are interested in our Patreon Soul Circle, you can find our Patreon link below. Join us where we continue these conversations on a more intimate level. We really get deep into the vibrational scale, y'all. And we tell people how to overcome their to do list, how they understand their life's purpose, and how you can manifest even more through your spirituality, because a lot of it is about enlightenment.
Yes.
A lot of it's about enlightenment. You have to understand, but you can't get past that. You can't get to that until you get through the baby steps of shadow work. So a lot
Exactly.
of y'all need shadow work, and we're breaking down shadow work right on our Patreon channel. So anybody that's ready to join, check that out. It'll be in the description box below. But we are so happy that you guys have returned for another season of Truth Be Told Conversations. It only gets bigger and better from here because we have so many things to teach and tell you guys about when it comes to this thing called life. So just remember, what do I always say, baby? God is love. Love is the highest frequency. And go and find the God within.
God bless.